Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my guide to the Tower of Zot, the level 81 dungeon in Endwalker. This guide is being made with footage from the latest media tour, and as such, all enemies, bosses, mechanics, damage values, everything is subject to change. Also, spoiler warning, because some of you may want the chance to click away before you see anything, so you've been warned. At the start of the dungeon, you'll be assisted by a few of your usual allies, on top of any selected trusts or party members. The trash mobs consist of several Garlean monsters that employ their usual tactics. Armored fiends do hit harder and have a point-blank AoE to boot, so watch out for those. Other than that, just mow everything down until you reach the first boss. Our first boss is Mindaruva. At the start of the fight, she will rapid-fire showcase her barrage of spells. Minutia Bio is her tank buster, also poisoning the tank, so Asuna this. Minutia Blizzard 3 shoots several conal AoEs from the boss's location. Minutia Fire 3 is a donut AoE you'll need to get inside. Minutia Thunder 3 fires a cross pattern of thunder AoEs on the ground. And Minutia Bio 3 does a giant 180 degree AoE in the direction Mindy is facing. With those established, Mindaruva will begin transmuting these spells as well. When Mindy casts a transmuted version of a spell, she fires a small ball to a target location on the arena. When the ball reaches that location, it will execute the spell from there. Her first transmute is Blizzard 3, which fires a conal AoE from the final location. She also uses a Bio 3 here, so don't move too far away from her, just also don't get hit by the blizzards as well. She will be targeting players with various attacks here also, including pelting random players with hard-hitting spells. Her Drupad attack afflicts every non-tank with a potent dot for several seconds after her transmute is done also. After this is Transmute Fire 3 and Transmute Blizzard 3 back to back. This will do the donut AoE at the first orb's location, and after a short delay, perform the Blizzard conal AoEs from the second. Mindy herself also Bio 3s before the Fire 3 hit, meaning you don't have that much time to reach the spot after this dissipates. Other than that, just get in the donut and dodge the conals. Next is Transmute Thunder 3 and Transmute Fire 3, so dodge the cross AoEs while getting close to the Fire Donut. Mindy herself does also do a Blizzard 3 here, but it's of little consequence. Finally is Transmute Blizzard 3 and Bio 3. Mindy does do a Thunder 3 herself here also, but just get close to where the Bio Orb is traveling so you can get behind its AoE when it goes off. Just be prepared for Bios and Drupads between every mechanic and watch the transmutes and you'll be alright. The trash leading up to the second boss has a bit more volume, but otherwise isn't too bad. The Hypertuned do hit pretty hard with their auto attacks, and the Claws and Hypertune all perform AoEs to avoid. The second possible big pull is very hard hitting between the Imperials, the Hypertuned, and the Umbrals, so do be extra careful here. After this, you'll come to the second boss, Sandaruva. She too will do a quick display of her basic skills. Ishitva Siddhi is her tank buster, and Prapthi Siddhi is a line AoE that she fires one at a time at each party member. Mitigate and step out of the way here. After this, she introduces her first mechanic, Minutia Berserk. This summons 5 orbs around the room that, after Sandy casts Explosive Force, will all explode, dealing damage and berserking any player's hit, causing them to attack Sandaruva uncontrollably. There should be one small safe space up against the wall for you to avoid all of these explosions, so look for the side of the room with no orbs and get all the way to the wall. In the case any players are hit, they will also be hit by Sandy's follow-up point-blank AoE, Prakamya Siddhi. Everyone unaffected, just step away from it. Once that is done, Sandy will dash to the center of the room and use Minutia Stop. This debuff will give everyone in the party a delayed stop effect, causing you to all, one by one, suffer its effects. When a player is stopped, Sandy will aim a Prapthi Siddhi in their direction, until all 4 players have been hit with the stop. You just have to heal through each hit. Finally, Sandaruva uses Minutia Confuse. This causes her to leave the arena before returning alongside 5 clones. Each of the clones is actually a Minutia Berserk Orb in disguise, and the real Sandy is the designated safe spot. You can spot a fake if you see one of them doing some form of emote that the player themselves can normally use. The real one is the one not doing any emotes, the one that usually has your dots and debuffs still on it, and can also be spotted on the aggro list casting Explosive Force after a short delay, though at that point you don't have much time to move. Get to the wall behind the real Sandy to avoid all of the berserks. It's worth noting that all of the Sandy clones here have their names locked on the aggro list, implying that perhaps even if more enemies were to appear, they cannot have their spot moved. Interesting. Either way, Sandy will keep repeating stop and confuse until the fight is over. The final set of trash has tons and tons of monsters, hard hitters, AoEs, everything. The Rotors will attempt to ambush you and also have a double auto attack skill that they can do for more damage, so watch out with these. The pull with the Colossus mobs, the Rotor, and the weapon is super chaotic, so definitely have tons of cooldowns available for this one. Once you clear them out, you'll be on the final boss. At the end of the dungeon, we have the Magus Sisters. The fight begins against just Cinderuva. Her Samsara attack is an AoE that will hit the party, but right after that she will call her sisters to her side to perform Delta attack. With each of these, Mindy will initiate the attack, Sandy will buff the skills being used, and Cindy will ensure they are reflected for maximum chaos. Which type of Delta attack is designated by the text bubble on the screen? Glacial Ice is the Blizzard 3 Delta, Thunderous Tempest is the Thunder 3 Delta, and Insatiable Flame is the Fire 3 Delta. These occurred in the same order both times I did the dungeon, but that could just be confirmation bias. The first Delta attack sees Blizzard 3 spam coming from all of the sisters, which means a ton of conal AoEs to avoid. There are also thin line AoEs firing from the side of the room to avoid, and two back-to-back proximity AoEs. It's basically Dodge Central here, so work your way from Cindy's side of the room to the opposite side and back, all while avoiding everything. After the first Delta attack and between each of the ones that the sisters use, they will perform several other attacks on the party, using skills that they have from their own encounters. Sandy will hit the tank with Inishit's Visiti, while Mindy afflicts the team with Drupad's dots. Mindy then pelts the party with a variety of elemental spells, while Sandy does her line AoEs and Cindy does a Samsara room-wide. It's a lot of party damage, so personal mitigation and regens are really nice to have here. Delta attack number 2 is the Thunder 3-1. This will see tons of ground AoEs come out in those cross patterns, with some thunders just being larger than others. The line AoEs dashing through the room are also significantly larger, so just be sure to avoid them. It all ends with a stack damage marker, but if you stick close to Cindy, you should have more than enough space to avoid everything. After another in-between damage phase is Delta attack number 3, the Fire Delta. This summons several donut AoEs around the arena with more line AoEs to avoid. During the second donut AoE, there will be 4 spread damage markers, so ensure that you all leave the donut in a different direction to ensure there's no overlap. With this, you've seen the whole fight. Focus on Cindy first until she is defeated, and then you can finish off Sandy and Mindy. In Final Fantasy IV, Cindy could resurrect allies if you defeated them before her, so considering you start the fight just against her, I'm willing to bet that happens here as well. Once any of them are dead, the Delta attacks will stop as well, leaving the party to just finish the fight and deal with the tank and party damage. With that, that's going to be a wrap for my guide to the Tower of Zot. Remember that this was all subject to change as it was from the media tour, so we may have to do another guide after the servers actually go live on November 19th. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and check out all of my other Endwalker coverage coming from the media tour. Until next time, though, thank you for watching, and take care.